I'm thinking drunk crafting. Where to begin? The first thing that you need to know is what you're gonna make. So, I'm gonna make my roommate a Jedi Robe. Find some research of a Jedi Robe, so that we make exactly what he wants. Basically just a dark brown, simple robe with a big-ass hood. Gladly, we already got fabric. I think you know why. Luke! We just got 4 yards of fabric for this. It should be plenty, because it's a pretty simple, slender robe. There are quite a few fun robes out there. Also a lot of crappy ones. I don't see how naked ladies have anything to do with Jedis. Take off clothes, you will.
I'm sorry.
How dare you!
I'm a failure.
Failure. Peter just got me some thread because we were missing the right thread. I'm gonna overlock because it's just an easier way of putting it all together quickly, I suppose. Usually this project takes half an hour to an hour. It could take anywhere from half an hour to 3 days for some people. Here are some other materials that you might need. Some scissors. Some more scissors, just in case you lose the other one somehow. A measuring tape. Pins magnetized to a thingy so you don't lose those in your foot. And some thread snips. Measure the person and start cutting out the fabric. Just lay the fabric on the floor and then lay on the fabric so I can measure it properly. You put your feet at the one end and then just cut kind of close to your shoulders. Have your fabric doubled up if you're just going to do general and quick lines. You want it to be very exact where you have the lines. You want to make sure that you actually draw on the fabric. You can draw on it with a pencil and it'll usually come out in the washing machine. Glam! First piece! How dare you? For the second piece, the back piece, because you did the front pieces already, you're essentially cutting out the same piece again, but you're cutting it on the fold. There we go. Blam! More pieces! Well, for the sleeves, I'm just going to do a quick measurement on myself and then see how long that is. We're going to have a seam on the top of the sleeve just so that we can make the most of our fabric. Make sure that your sleeve is big enough to fit in the sleeve hole that you made. Boom! It's great having my roommate here watching me condescendingly this entire time.
It's with minimal condescension. I want everyone to know that.
This is the fabric we have left to make a hood, which will be fun. Later Peter's gonna be saying, "Thanks for the cheap-ass robe, Grant." I'll say, "You're welcome."
Everyone loves a good ass robe.
Just so you have a little measurement here, 20 inches sounds good. Hooray for weird-looking hood shape! Let us begin sewing, I guess. After quite a bit of effort, I finally got the sewing machine set up over here. I clearly forgot the most important part. I'm like the Julia Child of sewing. You're too famous. That's kind of like being on the D-list, isn't it?
Yeah, you and Kathy Griffin.
Well, I have a red wig. I could probably be Kathy Griffin.
Yeah, but it'd be warm and uncomfortable.
This is why it's fun to be a costumer.
I thought it was cool. It gave me the idea of imagining the weed.
I think I got wine in my nose. Ugh, too hot for you. Wine isn't quite as potent as, say, vodka. Success!
Oh my god.
Let's celebrate. Let's start sewing. So we're going to start with the sleeves. Since I have 2 pieces for each sleeve, just sew up the top and the bottom. Make sure you don't, sew the armhole shut or the end of the sleeve shut, because that's just embarrassing. Not that I've ever done that before. It's beautiful! So the lovely thing about having a serger is it cuts off all of the stuff that you don't want, and some of the stuff that you want, if you may be a little too intoxicated when you're crafting with cocktails.
Let's hope that doesn't happen, eh?
Of course it won't happen with me. This time. So much of what I've filmed so far has been out of focus. Why is it so hard? Better. So here's the stuff I've gotten done so far. Sleeve, other sleeve, and we have a hood. I'm practically in Star Wars right now. Now I have to make the body so I can attach everything to it. Da 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 da. Luke, I'm your estranged uncle. Make sure all your seams are facing inward, especially with a serger, because it makes sure that you can't take that shit off easy. Suck. So one of the nicest things about making a Jedi robe is that you don't really have to line it. Perfect! Ooh, we finally have the base together. Now we need to make the shoulder seams connect. You need to make sure that you cut it out right. See, I lost my other scissors, so it's a good thing I found more. Oh, it's good enough. Ooh. There you are. It's definitely time to put on this. This is where the magnetic pins come in. This is the most fun part about sewing, is you get to put it on and like play around in it a little bit. Oh. Sheer impressions are exhausting. Alright, so we're gonna use our handy dandy pins again for the sleeve. Pin like crazy. Put tons of pins in everything. Pins in everything. I'm gonna sneeze. Called it. Now you can start just zipping it through. Make sure you don't run over your pins because you'll cut them in half and break your machine. That looks pretty good. So I guess this isn't so good, but it's okay. Match up that shoulder seam. Pinning is hard when you've had most of a bottle of wine. We have a second sleeve. Alright, before I put it on and flail around a bit, I'm going to finish all the edges. And I'm done. You make a nice little Jedi robe. Well, I hope that was at least somewhat informative. If you've never sewn before, don't do so while intoxicated. Dun dun.